Hi Diego! Howdy YouTube. Today we're cooking up some top sirloin roast, tip roast I believe it was called. I got that from my dad. It's organically grass-fed beef and it's going to be some good stuff. I'm going to try and slap about 2 hours of smoke on it. And then we're going to scorch it off and put it on rice. We've got our top sirloin or tip roast, and we've got a bit of 4-3-2-1 spice. Use whatever you like. And a bit of cracked pepper. And a bit of that cracked pepper for Knox Spice. And the 4-3-2-1 is something I made up myself. Check out my video on that. This is still internally frozen, so that's what's getting me to think I'm gonna get away with the 2-hour smoke, because it won't defrost in time to be too hot. And it's that simple. Alright, as you can see, this roast is bound, and I'm just going to leave it that way. It can be restrained. Now, I'm going to maintain my practice of not searing it first. The last time I didn't sear it first, I had some really good tasting lamb, so let's see how this works on beef. Alright, we'll be back in cool the temperature back down a little bit, because it's actually 220 degrees on the grill by the meat. Now it's down to 200. And we're smoking it up for an hour. I just wanted to show you the point I've been trying to make with not searing the meat first. It looks pretty dry on the outside. There's like just a few drops of liquid that have gone through. We're at the grill of 160 degrees, and that's kind of hot. We're just going to roll this thing over. So, and the moisture will go back down the other way, and this side will dry out a bit. It's nowhere close to done, but it is all the way defrosted. And I think we're going to get some nice smoke in it before we see the technique I'm using here. I'm not braising it first. And you see the dry rubs nice and dry on the top. It's nice and dry on the bottom. There's no more moisture coming out. And see how squishy that is? That means it's still rare inside. So we're just going to smoke this. We've been running it at about 100 and having a lot of fun with this. This smoking pit. Thanks to Robbie O'Neill for giving it to me. Appreciate it. That's about 135 internal temperature. We really don't need to cook this 138 internal temperature. Really don't need to cook this meat any longer. I have these cool restaurant tongs and these extra long restaurant tongs. Last time I scorched my hands a bit. So, remembering what I taught Chris Kane about wilderness survival and how to overcome a situation, you need to prepare yourself with at least a somewhat ratty pair of leather gloves. That way you won't burn your hands. The primary concern is that heat and getting your hands there. It will burn even more. 90 seconds, are you counting? 1001, 1055. I can hear it sizzling. So at 60 seconds, I'm thinking it needs to flop. Flop it on over, bad boy. Yeah, that got it burnt just a little bit. You notice the skin's starting to split and the juices are starting to come out from the inside. That's what we want. And I can smell that oh so good, slightly burnt flavor. Oh, I am getting excited about this. What is that, about 15 seconds? 1055. Yeah, that is definitely it's weeping very well now. Don't want all that juice to boil out though, so we'll just hit it a little bit on each side here. What we did here was we got the liquids inside really hot, but they weren't boiling. We smoked it for 6 hours, and now at the end, we're getting them really hot, so they're starting to boil and come out. And we're doing this instead of your typical braise it and then smoke it for a little bit. And what happens is when you braise it first and then smoke it, is you heated your meat up too much. If you're going to braise it first and then smoke it, you should pretty much start with an almost frozen piece of meat if you want to get some serious smoke time on it. But even then, by braising it, you sealed it in, so it's not going to get as much smoke as if you do it this way. That's how you can take this piece of meat and smoke it for 6 hours, and it's actually a meaningful smoke. So let's go inside and look at this before we set it to rest. Alright, this is what it looks like after we took it off the grill. It's got little juices there is running out of it. We're starting to weep a little better now that we've scorched the outside. I'm not even going to try and take an internal temperature because, well, we knew it was almost done before and we don't care if it's a little rare. It's time to set this little baby into the oven and let it rest before we go aborigine on consuming its wonderful flesh. Moo! And that's how we let it rest. We don't use foil. The oven works great for this. Microwave works good too. A little bit of juice pulled up, but not much. I'm just going to use my hands. Slice off a piece here for Angie. Oh, look at that. And there we have Angie's dinner. Alright, dinner's over, and I just wanted to show you how we cut it all up. Angie wanted them nice and thin, so we cut them nice and thin for her. Bye, Diego! See you later, YouTube. Thanks for watching Jimbo Jitsu's Farmhouse Show, and never forget,